This also will be known as the Summer of Civil Rights because of a program which began on June 22nd, the Mississippi Freedom Summer Project.
Freedom Summer, or the Mississippi Summer Project, was launched in 1964 to increase the number of registered black voters in Mississippi. It was part of a larger civil rights movement towards bridging the divide of racial inequalities in the United States.
It might have been any summer session at any college campus. This first group was made up mostly of communications workers, volunteers who would try to get COFO's story out to the world at large, and political workers.
This year, the death of George Floyd became a catalyst for many in the continuing struggle for social justice. Floyd, who was handcuffed, died in police custody after an officer in Minneapolis held his knee on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, despite Floyd's pleas that he could not breathe. In addition to sparking demonstrations across the country and in San Diego, Floyd's death became a call to action for students, staff, and district officials to re-examine how institutional racism may be influencing policies and procedures within San Diego Unified. The result was a series of workshops known as Freedom Summer 2020.
Already, this policy is much more in touch with students and their needs. The new and standard responses to behavioral incidents, if properly followed, will help reduce discrimination.
The hope here is that with these new restorative discipline policies, there'll be a focus on healthy learning and rehabilitation rather than strict infraction and punishment.
After areas for improvement were discussed as part of Freedom Summer 2020 workshops, resolutions were considered by the school board on June 23rd. The resolutions were adopted unanimously. Tangible action plans were put into place to address shortcomings in several areas, including staff diversity, implementation of ethnic studies for all students, interrupting discriminatory grading practices, dismantling discriminatory discipline policies and practices, and building anti-racist and restorative school communities.
This is a pretty comprehensive approach to what we want to do in the district. And step one is really listening to our students.
In light of all the things that have been going on, we really need to look at what we're doing in our system in San Diego Unified.
The goal of Freedom Summer 2020 was to advance the process of eliminating barriers that prevent students of color from receiving an equitable education.
The question is, are we doing what we can do to actually combat and end racism?